Okay, well, I'll get started so that you guys can have some time back in your day, but I want this to be very interactive. So stop me along the way if you've got questions, and I'll make sure I throw some things out to you too, guys. But thank you for being here today. I appreciate the love and support. I'm receiving it as we go. Angie had asked us all to take a different shift for the different clinics that we offer while she's on vacation, because she needs some, rest and relaxation because she works a lot. And I'm sitting there, I'm trying to think through, what am I going to do? Right? It's what am I going to teach people, or what am I going to even talk about? I have worked in HR for 24 years. I almost threw up when I calculated that. 24 years I've been in HR. So, but that isn't always the best topic to talk about. It's not always fun. It doesn't have anything exciting with it. 12 years ago, I founded Wellness Events, and that is where we manage on-site health and wellness fairs for our employers. And so that's one thing Angie mentioned. She said, how about talk about some event management, and I thought it started talking about you guys and, do you really event management? I feel like a lot of event management is always fly by the seat of your pants because, every event is different. There's something that happens. You've got to pivot, there's different topics, what have you. So I decided, event management, I'm going to go back to my roots. So I started out in project management when I started in HR. And project management is really kind of what led me into event management. So we're going to talk a little bit about event management. So just so you guys also know, I've been an HR consultant too now for 6 years. I'm also a Disney travel agent. That's my fun job. I am a massive, massive Disney fan. And I have been to Disney World 28 times. I would live there if my family would let me, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. And then, of course, I obviously help with sales and events at the VIP Center. So just a little bit about me that you guys might not have known.
Disney World or Disneyland?
So I've been to Disneyland just one time. And it was before it kind of got bigger. We're actually trying to think about doing a trip next year for it, but I've been to Disney World 28 times. That is like my Mecca. I love that place.
Oh my gosh.
I love it. So this is me. When I started, I started out working for Rolls-Royce in their HR department here in Minneapolis in 2001. It was the height of their crazy year. It was also the year of September 11th, and that impacted us greatly. I moved into this large corporation. I had been with a small pharmaceutical wholesale before that, but this one was probably my biggest career move. And when I started with Rolls, I was in their college recruitment department. And obviously September 11th hit us pretty hard. I had to go and do a lot of rescinding of offers, and we had to rework our whole entire recruitment strategy. And if we were going to do anything recruitment wise, and then with our current staff, what that looked like. I was a very high achiever. I thought I could take on the world. I thought I could, do everything, and not say no. I would just say, yes, I can help. Yes, I can help. Yes, I can help, which that really hasn't changed too much since then. That's another story. Let that go. So I moved into the HR project management team. And when I moved into it, I just kept taking on more and more and more and more. And I was trying to figure out, how do I keep myself organized? How do I keep all these projects going? I had no formal training, how most companies do. They just shove you into a job and say, here you go. Now you figure out how to do it. Is anybody familiar with this? Anybody know what this is?
Oh, yeah, that's my whole entire desk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fell in, this is actually the Franklin Covey system, and this is what I really fell into. I fell in love with everything Franklin Covey. I had the binders, I had the pages, I had everything you could imagine with it. And it helped keep me organized because I also am a person who has ADHD. So me being all over the place and projects, and not just one project, because you just can't stay in one lane, right? You're in 15 different lanes going all different speeds. So I found Franklin to be the most effective for me. And I ended up taking a class called the Project Management Essentials for the Unofficial Project Manager. And that's kind of what really drew me in to the entire world. So what do you guys think? What do you classify a project as? When you hear the word project, what does that mean to you?
Something that has a start and an end date.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good job, Rachel, because that's exactly what it is. I'm so proud of you. Good job. But it's anything. And I mean, it can be, you know, everything from, you know, an event at the VIP center. It can be just you writing a paper. It could be anything from a project standpoint. But now when you think about a project manager, what's a project manager? What do they do?
Delegate
Oversee.
tasks.
Yep.
Yeah. As my husband said, it's the person who just calls him and asks what percentage of completion he is. He's an engineer, so that's all he thinks about is that, or that's all they say to him is, "Are you complete? What's your percentage of completion?" And he's like, "That's an arbitrary number, blah blah blah." You know, this is again from the PMI, what they classify project managers are responsible for. I think it's just herding cats. That's my biggest thing. It is. I mean, that's what it is. You're trying to get people to do things and kind of lead them to an end result, right? You're trying to get these cats into the house in some way. So trying to figure out what they are and what you're trying to do. So these were just some funny one-liners that I loved because I feel like everybody is a project manager. So, you know, you don't have to have the fancy title. But when you're going through these, some of them, you know, the ideal project manager, if you get in my way, I'll kill you, you know. Is that really what they say? That's not very nice. But these are just some funny one-liners for you there. But when you're looking at a project manager, you know, it is anybody that's managing something, and it doesn't have to be classified as a true project from start to end. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of walk you through a little bit of what I learned through Franklin. These are just, again, high level pieces. I'm not going to get in too much in the weeds. I don't want you to fall asleep on me on some of this, but this is true from how I manage my day, because I consider my day a project, to how I handle events at the VIP center, how I handle health fairs. I kind of go broad on some of this. So the essentials to just looking at a project of a project manager is you've got to listen. If you're not listening to whoever your ultimate customer is, your project is not going to be a success. You want to make sure you have some type of clear expectations. I always do the, you know, say it back to people in some way, you know, make sure you have some type of clear expectations. And I'm also a big one on following up in writing, because then there's a clear, this is what my expectation is, which also leads into accountability. What I need from you, what you need from me, you know, then we're a happy family. And then the respect piece too. So according to Franklin, there's kind of 4 main areas. It's the initiate, plan, execute. And when you're in execute, you want to make sure you're monitoring and controlling the whole time. So that's a big piece within there. Oh, I'm echoing. I'm sorry. I don't know how I'm echoing.
I think that's why Crystal and I turned our mics off.
Okay. That's fine. We can pivot. Hold on one second. Let me try muting and unmuting. Is that any better? No. Okay.
We can hear you just fine. I just wanted to let you know.
Okay. I don't hear an echo on you guys, so that's interesting. Okay, I don't know how to fix that, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, we're just going to keep going. How about that?
Sounds good.
Good with me.
I can do all things. So monitoring and controlling, you want to make sure you're always doing when you're in that execute phase. And then of course the close. Your project needs to come to an end in some way. All right, so when we're in that initiate phase, somebody's coming to you with a project, or either you're creating a project. But you want to make sure you're identifying your stakeholders. Who are they and what are they doing? These are just a few of the questions I always ask myself, who, because your stakeholder is not always just one person. Sometimes if you're working with multiple departments, sometimes you're working with internal and external stakeholders. It just kind of depends on who you are and what project you're working on. So identify those stakeholders, and then you want to talk to them, because some people just assume a lot of things when you're dealing with stakeholders. I know what the purpose of the project is. I don't need to talk to those stakeholders. Make sure you kind of have that interaction between them. And these are just, again, some of the other questions that I like to ask. But the big thing, this is one of the documents that I use a lot from Franklin. And it's a project scope statement. And this is where, after I speak to my stakeholders, I create some type of scope. And then make sure that I'm sending this to all of my stakeholders so they understand, hey, here's what it is. After interviewing everyone, here's what my project looks like. What questions, comments, concerns do you have? Okay, none, great. Let's go ahead and get approvals from all of my stakeholders. So I'm not a big one on writing a 15-page paper. I want to make things short, sweet, to the point. And that's what I really love about some of Franklin's work is they try to make it as painless as possible for you. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move out of that initiate phase into the plan phase. This is my favorite, because I'm all about brainstorming. I love brainstorming. The big thing too is you've got to figure out what your team looks like. So make sure that you're looking at your team and you're brainstorming with them. I've seen a lot of project managers fail because they think that their plan is the right plan and they're not getting input from the rest of their team. So make sure you have some type of brainstorming activity with your team. Within that, you want to break down the task to get to kind of that end result. And you might not have all the answers right now, and that's okay. You can go back and amend it as much as you need to, but make sure that you have at least the biggest and the biggest what they call rocks in Franklin world, the biggest rocks out there, and what order they need to be completed in. So that you create that project schedule. And then you got to start signing them, because a lot of project managers, they get, I'm just going to do all this, I'm going to put this in this fancy document, and everybody's going to read it. See whose name is on what. You need to make sure you're really communicating that assignment piece so that there's no assumptions on their parts. Estimated time for task. I go back and forth on this one because that estimation is really up to the task owner to say, okay, this is really going to take me this long, because a project manager might not know all the details and everything behind what's in it. So make sure you're really estimating that time you're talking to your team. Documentation. This is a big one for me. You just need to figure out what your cadence looks like. Are you documenting every week, every day? It depends on how big your scope is. So just make sure you're documenting and that you have buy-off from the rest of the team on what that documentation looks like. Your communication plan, that's another big one. When you're scheduling meetings, make sure you're getting input from the team on when those meetings are going to be. Meeting minutes. This is a good one, because in this day and age, not everybody can be everywhere at every point in time. So make sure that you're taking minutes and then you're sending those out. And then one that I've experienced a lot here lately is when a team member comes up with some type of issues. How do they escalate that? Who does it go to? Does it always need to go to the project manager? Are there different issues that need to go other places? Delegation is a big piece. If you can delegate it, then not everything falls on your shoulders. There could be something little, or maybe something that you can't do, but you got to connect them to somebody else. So just make sure you're kind of talking. Risk management strategy. That's another good one too, just so that you can identify, okay, these could be issues down the road. Maybe, we don't know, but just identify some type of strategy around them just so that you can kind of keep those on your radar. All right, we're going to move out of the plan phase and into the execute phase. So you want to create accountability. So you've already agreed to what the meetings are going to look like. You've already agreed that you're going to have meeting minutes. Now let's talk about holding those meetings and holding them consistently. That's a big piece. Holding them consistently and documenting them. So make sure you kind of keep that up. And then your project plan, everybody asks me, what kind of documentation do you do from a project plan standpoint? Oh, yes, Rachel, I love that. Hi, Rachel.
So I have a question. As the project manager, how do you hold and create accountability without having a carrot or a stick?
That's a great question. So that's where, when I'm doing a project and it's a massive group in the beginning, I'll talk to people about, okay, so this is our ultimate outcome. This is what we need to have happen. And I need you to be part of this and try to really encourage, and it gets down to that engagement piece. Keep them in the project, and then it's that, I feel like that accountability is going to be a big thing, that if you are keeping up with people and talking to them on a regular basis, so I did at my last employer, a massive project where we changed our HRIS system. So I'm moving employee data. It's our payroll system and all of our HR electronic system. I'm moving data. I'm moving payroll. I'm moving performance documents. This project was 18 months. It took us to do this because it's not just a quick swap in, swap out. So with that one, we talked in the beginning. This is how often we're going to meet in the beginning. You guys have a lot of homework to do. We're going to do bigger chunks. Then as the project goes on further on, it's weekly, and it's just getting people to understand where you're sitting from a project manager standpoint. And if there are issues, then they need to come to you. They need to say, hey, what do we need to do? What do I need to talk to your supervisor about? Maybe take off your plate. And it's that interaction, I feel like makes the biggest difference. Because if you just say, okay, email out, here are your assignments this week, next week, here are your assignments again. You haven't done it, and you just keep emailing, people aren't going to talk. We have to get out behind our computers and have that conversation, even if it's a phone call. I feel like that makes the biggest difference when you have people engaged. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Because if I'm not their manager, I can't really say you're fired, right? Now I have on some projects, I have had to go to people's managers and say, I might need a different resource. I'm not getting, John to respond to me on tasks, and then I have to pull in their manager. But I try not to do that until I say, hey, I will warn them. I'll say, hey, I'm going to go talk to your boss about maybe either putting you on a different project or getting somebody else on this project. That has scared people enough to actually respond to me in some cases. So it just kind of depends. But I feel like that engagement is the biggest piece. I have been called annoyingly responsive on some things before, but it's the we have a timeline we have to keep. So what does that look like for everyone to get what they need to do to get done? So that leads me into this. So I always say that, and I didn't say this other guy did, but Cornelia said it. But it's not just about projects. You're managing people. You're managing them and getting what they need to get done to get the project done. And so that people management, it's so much more. So, but I like little Cornelia. I don't know if he truly looks like that. I should Google at some point. So again, it goes back to, PMI said something about statistics on project management. What is their big thing that they do? Communication. 90% of their time is just communicating. monitoring the project schedule, keeping that project moving forward. Then they want to make sure there are updates. So with this too, I like to put this out there. Updates do not always have to be in a meeting. If you're just doing updates, you can send some type of status report. Here's an update on our project. And this is where Franklin has some good tools, but I like to create my own based on the project, because in some cases I might not need all that extra stuff they have in there. So you can create a simple Excel document that just includes deliverables, due dates, assignments, identify roadblocks. That's a big one. I like to keep my eyes on anytime I'm working on it. But then, man, that big one is just managing that communication script code. Wow. Scope, creep. Wow, that's a big sentence. And any changes that may happen. Scope creep is probably my biggest downfall when it comes to managing projects, because that's where my ADHD comes in, and I go, oh, shiny squirrel, I can fix that too. Let me fix that too. I mean, you guys have probably all experienced that before too, right? Again, it's a create a template. This stuff doesn't have to be fancy. I mean, it's nice if it looks nice, but Excel is your friend, and there are so many different templates that Excel has already created. Within there, you can pull any of those. Google is also your friend too. You can create those, but Franklin has several different templates that they have too. And if you ever need anything, just let me know. I've got plenty. The other big piece is just keeping your stakeholders informed. So you've got your project team itself, but then your stakeholders are usually not in the weeds on the different tasks. So making sure they have an understanding of where the project is and what's going on is key to the success of the program, because especially if your deadline starts to slip, you don't want them to be surprised, or you don't want them to hear it from somebody else through the grapevine that said, this project isn't going well and they're going to need extra time. So it's just another big thing to keep an eye on. So of course, once it's done, you want to make sure you're going through the close process. Everyone, not everyone, I guess a lot of people that I know like to kind of skip this phase, because they're like, okay, project complete, walk away, we're done, right? There's so much that can be learned anytime you complete a project. So looking at all the different task items on your project plan, did all those actually get completed? Just because your project got completed doesn't mean all your tasks did. There could have been something that was skipped along the way. Go back to your project statement. Verify that the purpose was completed that was on your project statement. And then I always do a lesson learned with my group afterwards. What did we do well? What do we need to improve upon for the next go around? And that's kind of big, so that you can just keep improving your team. And your team changes. Well, your team could change every time. It just depends on your project itself. And then of course, I'm a big one. Let's celebrate. We just moved a massive rock. Let's actually celebrate. So I like to, but when I try to explain to my grandma what I did from a project management standpoint, she just didn't really grasp the concept. So I thought this one was funny. So what my friends think I do all day, what my mom thinks I do. My grandma thinks all I do is sit in front of a computer and do nothing. And then sometimes I do feel like my boss thinks that I'm a superhero, and it's just the whole communication piece of, hey, I figured out there was an issue, let's fix it, let's move on. But I really feel like I'm sometimes a ninja, because I can pull up mountains, and I surprise myself sometimes. So that's a little bit about project management in my world. But again, I'm not an expert. I've taken a few training classes. I've completed several projects, but I've watched a ton of YouTube videos. So I'm all about learning. I'm always trying to learn more. So that's just a little bit about project management. So there you go. What questions do you guys have for me?
Do you find that knowing personality types helps you as a project manager to deal with people?
Yes, I totally support that. One of my clients now is using a profile called the Predictive Index. And actually, Kai Hawkins talked a little bit about it at VIP Week. And if you guys ever want to take that assessment, let me know. But the PI has been a big one for me, just to get in and understand people. It looks at communication styles, it looks at sociability, it looks at how they work with others, how they think. It's I feel like when I'm going into a project, at least knowing who my team is made up of, it makes a massive difference on communication. Example, even on that HRS project, I had one guy, and this is where my ADHD comes in, right? I'm a let's talk it out, let's go, look at all the shiny squirrels. And this guy, I just felt like he just wasn't responding to anything that we were talking about in this meeting. And I'm like, okay, so maybe he just doesn't want to be on this project. Does he not like this project? And so I went and I looked at his PI profile. And he is a processor. So once I read through kind of his profile, understood that he likes to process things. I waited a day or so. And I just sent another email that just said, hey, I know we had our meeting a couple days ago. I just wanted to see if you had any thoughts on that meeting. Did you want to schedule more time? And I got a dissertation of ideas. So letting him think through it instead of me trying to think through, hey, this guy doesn't work with me. It's where my stories are being told in my head. That made a big difference. So I definitely, I'm an assessment junkie. So no matter which of the assessments that you use, they're all valid. I haven't found one that I've said is just totally not me when I've taken them. But they do make a big difference. Good question, Rachel. Thank you. All right. Well, guys, that's all I really had. I know I'm early.
It's okay.
I hope Angie doesn't fire me. But that's just a little bit about my project world. And if you guys ever need anything when it comes to any of that stuff, like I said, I've got lots of resources. I've got books galore even. I had to pull a few of my books to remember some of the details that I use. So just let me know.
Can you buy go ahead, Crystal.
Nope, I was just saying that I'm glad that you have those resources, because I've been researching, like project management because of working with Charity House. It's like we have a lot of big, events coming up, and it's like I'm struggling to get people to do anything. And like you said, it's people management. It's not the project itself, it's the people. And I was like,
and so are yours all volunteers too?
Yeah.
So that's even worse. I feel like for my former church, I ran a project called Go Love Indy. And it's where we would go around Indianapolis and basically clean it up. So different projects. We go around a whole bunch of neighborhoods. We had over 200 volunteers in one day. And getting that project almost broke me because getting people to respond, getting people to actually do what they say they were going to do was just horrible. And I could only do so much. And that's where it comes down to, I went back to my pastor, basically. He was my main stakeholder and just said, we're going to have to take this project down a step because I don't have the people. I can't get them to respond. And granted, he picked up the phone and they started doing things, which irritated me. But I'm like, it's a big thing. The project gets done, but sometimes that's what's to happen. But when you're dealing with volunteers, it's just a different world.
When I worked at the college and I would have to email all these doctors asking for their PowerPoints for their lectures, I developed a system where I basically emailed them 4 times, trying to get them up to 4 times trying to get their materials a week in advance. And if I didn't have what I needed from somebody by 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon, I would email my boss. And when she would contact them and copy me, oh, then I had it the next thing you knew. So it was always just like, okay, where's the respect for the people who are, I don't have the right letters after my name.
Right. Right.
Exactly. No, I totally agree with that. Now, in some projects, I've made sure like my main stakeholder would send out an email to everybody who was on the team to say, give that big rah speech of, you're gonna help us succeed. You're gonna do great. I need you to do whatever Jen says to a point. But it's not all the time.
Yeah. That's what I kind of meant about the carrot and the stick, is like, as a educational associate, I didn't have a carrot or a stick. The only thing I could do is say, hey, the students need this. And if you actually care about the students, but sometimes they're like, but I'm busy. I'm like, then you shouldn't have volunteered to lecture,
Exactly. That's funny because at Rolls, when I managed college relations teams, they always had to present every quarter. And I would tell them, if you don't send me your presentation, I'm going to create one for you. And that was the big thing that made that switch, because I was going to do something in it, something along the lines, or I would put in there, did not, and I did that a couple of times where I did not send in presentation. And I gave them a hard deadline, and I would stick to it because I'm tired. I can't babysit everyone. And if you can't be an adult, if you're not going to do your job, then you just tell me. It's not like you're not going to communicate with me. Just do it. So, but yeah, I feel you. I feel you. And dealing with volunteers, I mean, that's a hard one. That's why you have to make sure you have some people that are reliable at least. And that makes a big difference.
I think it helps if you have people who have done the project before. Like if you're doing, like if you have an annual event and if you can keep volunteers from year to year, it makes things run smoother because you worked out the kinks from the year before. Like I love at the end of your closing session where you said you're talking about the lessons learned. That's awesome. We call that plan, do, check, and adjust in my line of business. But it's that check part. It's like, okay, what did I do well? What can I do better? Because you can't move forward if you don't recognize your victories and your defeats.
Well, and I don't know if you guys have seen this just with the VIP conferences. I mean, that's a big thing for us. At the very end, we went through last year and we said what worked and what didn't work. And we pivoted this year, and we made big adjustments this year. Which is why I love it, because we're getting feedback from you guys as attendees, and we're making that adjustment too, not just from what we see, but also from the attendees. We ask the speakers, we ask the vendors, so get all that feedback in, and then make your adjustments as you need to. And it does make a world of difference, because I feel like this last year's conference was better than the year before. And we just want to keep improving and improving. And that's the big one that I like to use, just saying, hey, this is where we're doing well. And let's who was Amanda kept saying it. She goes, man, this feels so much smoother than in years past. I'm like, because we've done it. We know what we're doing. We just need to make adjustments here and there. The world has changed. We're adapting. We've got new ideas that have come in. So let's implement those. And it worked out well. So yeah. It's great. I could talk project management all day. But it goes back to, project management, just to circle back, project management is heavily connected to event management. So whether I am I actually somebody called me for a health fair. I'm doing a health fair in August. It'll be my first one. I did one last year, but I used to do 75 a year. And when COVID hit, obviously the health fair business kind of died for a little bit. And I'm going through this exact same process for this event. I'm talking to the company about, they're my stakeholder, right? So talking to them, what do they want to see, what do they not want to see? So we're going through those motions, and then I'll go through it, even though it'll just be me and one other person. I'll go through at the end and do a lessons learned. What went well? What did not go well? So it's full circle there too. But events are probably the hardest when it comes to project management because they are so unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen in an event. So. All right, ladies. Well, I can, like I said, I can talk all day, but.
Well, Jen, thank you for filling in for Angie today.
Coming up.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate your work on this. It's a great presentation. I liked it, enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Thanks. I added color. So, all right, ladies. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll give you 15 minutes back. But we will soon.